Disney gets criticized by weirdos for casting ethnically accurate characters in Lilo and Stitch. Putin signs a conscription bill. And a Chilean man reignites pandemic fears. Thank you for being here on the Black Raven Report. I'm Anthony, and I hope today I can help you find your reason to subscribe. But let's not waste any more of your time, and let's get into it. Hey guys, as you're probably aware, Disney has been on a tear for the last 10 years or so, doing remakes of all of their IPs, and now Lilo and Stitch is on the chopping block for the next criticism of their casting. But unlike the other films that they've been making, Lilo and Stitch is actually using an ethnically accurate character for their film. So let's look at this. This article is from Sky News. Disney criticized after revealing cast for Lilo and Stitch remake Sydney Agudong, a 22-year-old Hawaiian native who has been cast as Lilo's older sister Nani. But some reflect that she doesn't represent what the character looks like, though she is legitimately what the character is. But let's look at her. So they're saying that she's not dark enough, but as we can tell, she's not the pigment of her hair. She's tan. And she's tan. And you can tell she's got black eyebrows. She's got brown eyes. She's got more of a flat nose. Not big lips. Even the right lip shape. I mean, she's spot on. And I love Lilo and Stitch. Stitch thinks it's right too. I asked him earlier and he said, no, that's spot on. And I agree with Stitch. Not the creeps. Disney has been accused of blatant colorism after revealing who will star in a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. But some weirdos say she is not representative of how Nani was depicted in 2002. In case you guys don't know, The Little Mermaid just recently came out, and we know that Little Mermaid is a little white redheaded girl. But we know Hollywood hates gingers. Just rearrange the letters of ginger, and you'll figure out what they think about red-haired people. Sorry, one weirdo tweeted, not being indigenous or from a person of color community. I'm sorry, but is Hawaiian now the new white? Do you just hate people because they're Hawaiian? Like you hate people just because they're white? A bunch of creeps. Nani is an indigenous Hawaiian, and so is Agudong, with strong features and dark skin. This casting is blatant colorism, but The Little Mermaid, Pinocchio, Cinderella, none of those are blatant colorism. Because, as we all know, if you didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. Back in 2019, the entertainment giant was accused of whitewashing after casting Naomi Scott, a biracial British actor of Indian ancestry, for Princess Jasmine. These people just hate every ethnicity that doesn't match their agenda. And it flows like water, and it works whoever has the most ability to create chaos. They will just give you the card to fly the victim flag, and you can just go out there and just destroy everybody, right? No problems. Disney is yet to comment on the criticism. Well, this is the first time that I would agree. I wouldn't even know what to say. You guys are mad for casting the right person for the right job. Just someone from Hawaii for a character in Hawaii. That's pretty simple. I mean, I don't know. But hey, I don't do Hollywood casting. On to our next one. What is Putin up to? Well, I will tell you. Let's get into this. Let's see. Vladimir Putin closes loophole that allowed Russian men to avoid military service. Vladimir Putin has signed a bill allowing authorities to issue electronic mobilization notices to draftees and reservists. Excuse me. So, what they're doing is they are sending you emails and texts saying that you've been drafted so you can't avoid it by not checking your mail, which is what they were doing before, which I guess worked, which is kind of awesome. Under the new law, notices issued by local military conscription offices will continue to be sent by post, but they would be considered valid from the moment they are put on the state portal for electronic services. So the second that they notify themselves that you're conscripted, you are officially conscripted. In the past, many Russians avoided the draft by staying away from their recorded addresses. You don't show up, don't check your mail, and you don't go to war. The new law would close the loophole in an apparent effort to enable the Kremlin to speedily beef up the military effort ahead of a widely anticipated Ukrainian counteroffensive in the coming weeks. Recipients who didn't show up would be just barred from doing all the things that we talked to before. The bill signed into law by Putin was published on the official register of government documents, and the Kremlin critics and rights activists denounced the legislation as a step toward a digital prison camp. They're upset. But the Kremlin critics and the rights activists denounced legislation as a step towards a digital prison camp that gives unprecedented powers to the military conscription offices. But you never really had a chance anyways. I mean, this doesn't really change anything. But with this going in the enactment, you can kind of see that this is kind of a push towards a larger scale war in the future, if I was to put my opinion out there. And the article goes on to say that there was a lot of mess in the military conscription offices. He said, the purpose of the bill is to clean up this mess and make the system modern, effective, and convenient for citizens. But really, it's an instrument of control. Putin announced a call-up of 300,000 reservists in September after Ukrainian counteroffensive pushed Russian forces out of broad areas in the east. The mobilization order prompted an exodus of Russian men that was estimated to number in the hundreds of thousands. I don't believe that for a second. No one will ever know what the actual numbers are. Everything being reported by news is propaganda, and it's just trying to get everyone to think of the world in a certain way. Just ignore it and move on with your life. People will say their numbers and everything. Just know that something's going on, but all the details inside are lies. And finally, up to our favorite Chilean man who now has the bird flu. Chilean man's bird flu infection has concerning mutations. No one freak out and scream to the sky like a leftist. It's not that bad. It's a normal bird flu. It's just another random mutation that isn't going to cause any problems, but they will scare everyone with it to get everyone to panic and cause more destabilization. But let's go on. A man in Chile is infected with the bird flu that has concerning mutations, U.S. health officials say, which basically means don't trust it because it's from the United States. The mutations may have occurred after the 53-year-old who is in the hospital became sick, but there is no evidence the mutated virus has spread to other people, mixed with other flu viruses, or developed resistance to current medications or vaccines. Basically, that goes on to say we need to remain more vigilant for changes that would make these viruses more dangerous to people. They're trying to blame people who own small sections of birds, but as you'll go on to find out from the article, and as you'll see, it goes on later to say that similar mutations have been found in the past. Similar mutations have been found in the past bird flu infections. So if they try to scare you up, just realize that it's no different than COVID. It's just another change. It's just another mutation. And every mutation, it gets weaker, less deadly. So don't let them scare you. Continue on with what you're doing. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. But this is the Black Raven Report. I'm Anthony. That is Stitch, and have a wonderful night.